What is going on, you guys? It's Extreme here, and welcome back to another episode of my Road to Max Prestige, where currently we are on my third Prestige here in Advanced Warfare. Hopefully, things will pick up soon, and I'll start flying through these ranks, but I doubt it. Anyways, welcome back, you guys, and I hope you guys are enjoying your Tuesday. In today's episode, I promised you guys I was going to share a story with you. Well, I do have a story for you today, and this story is not one of the dirty stories that I usually share. I kind of want to curb the dirty stories just a little bit. But this story took place when I was, oh god, I wish I knew how old I was. I think I was between either 7 and 10 or somewhere in that range, I guess, ish. I don't remember how old I was, to be honest with you guys. But it was back in that time frame, somewhere in there. This massive storm, not El Nino, okay, just want to point that out. This massive storm rolled through San Diego one night, and it was bad, man. I mean, the wind was, I kid you not, I couldn't stand up for very long. It was blowing that hard. It was almost like, from the way I've described it to people who live in the Midwest, whatever, who deal with hurricanes and things of that sort, they told me that the way it sounds, it was hurricane style conditions. It was not a hurricane. I just want to point that out. Okay, I live on the fucking, as a motorcycle goes flying by, I live on the West Coast. We don't get hurricanes out here, but the wind speed was pretty bad. It was pouring rain. It was hail. It was just, goddamn, it was bad. It was a huge storm, and it was hitting hard. Well, funny thing, back then I felt invincible, and I decided, with lightning crashing, rain coming down, hail hitting the ground, wind speeds of just insane levels, I wanted to go outside and play. I'm not joking. I wanted to go outside and play. And knowing full well, even though my mother's sitting there going, "Edward, where are you going?" "Nowhere," as I'm sliding my body out the door. "Better not be going outside." "I'm not." Close the door and pretend that I have no idea what she's talking about. I start to play outside. I'm playing in the rain. I'm acting a fool. I'm having a good old time. I'm having fun. Wind's kicking me around and shit. Getting soaked, getting pegged with hail. I didn't care. Lightning's going off. And at first, the lightning didn't scare me until it started to get a little close, and I'm all, oh shit, I think I need to go inside. Actually, what ended up happening was I got stuck. The wind had picked up so much that I literally was holding on to the back fence of my yard. I couldn't move. It was blowing so hard. I literally am just sitting there going, oh my god, I'm screwed. My dad had to come outside and get me, and my dad is yelling for me the whole time. "Edward, what are you doing? Edward!" "Nothing." I'm sitting there going, I'm kind of stuck. So my dad walks up and he grabs me and he goes, "Hold on, don't let go." I'm kid you not, it was that bad, okay? The wind's blowing that hard. It's raining that bad. You could barely see in front of you. The hail is coming down all at the same time. All of this going on. Lightning's going off. I keep putting that out there because it was that bad, okay? And here's my dad basically having to carry me and fight the wind and everything else, carry my ass back inside. We get back inside finally after what felt like forever, because it was not like just stroll back inside. It was, you had to fight for every damn inch, all right? We get back inside, and within, I'd say maybe 5-10 minutes, the power goes out. Well, I haven't had a chance to take a shower, get cleaned up, get dried off, anything when this happens. And so within maybe 30-45 minutes after I got back inside, I started to feel ill. And within an hour or two, I'm fucking sick. Yeah, bad. And I don't know what made me so sick, but I do know that I very quickly got sick after playing out in the rain. Okay, it wasn't the rain, it was a fucking storm, but still. And I always thought about because I look back on it and I think, what was I thinking? Besides the fact that I wanted to go outside and play and act like a superhero, you know, and go play in the worst possible conditions you can go outside and play in. I still don't know what the fuck I was thinking, but I remember it so vividly, man. And I remember getting sick and my mom looking at me and going, see, this is what happens when you don't listen to me. I kid you not. Here I am puking my guts up, and here's my mother. See, this is what happens when you don't listen to me. That was my mom, ladies and gentlemen. And that was one of those stories that to this day I think about. And now that I have nieces and a nephew, and potentially one day I may have kids of my own, here's hoping. Okay, maybe not entirely, but still, just saying. I don't know, it's just, I think about that kind of stuff and I'm thinking, man, I hope to God none of these kids are as dumb as I was. And then my niece did this. So I had to tell that story before I could tell you guys this one. So a few weeks back, I am hanging out. Actually, this is far longer than a few weeks. This is a couple months back. My youngest niece, she's a very inquisitive individual. How inquisitive, you might ask? Well, she found that if you take a paperclip, bend it into the right shape, you can stick it into an electrical outlet. Now, the type of paper clips that she would do this with usually were those rubber tip kind, to where you could stick something in the outlet and it really wouldn't do anything except maybe melt the plastic, whatever. So she did that, and she would shove it into the outlet and then pull it right back out. She'd get a little bit of a shock and then be like, yeah, okay, whatever. Well, she had this brilliant idea. Brilliant, I tell you. It had to be brilliant. Seriously, it was not brilliant. She had this wonderful idea. I wonder what would happen if I put the paperclip in my mouth and then stuck that in the outlet. You want to know what happened? You want to know what happened? The kid shot across the fucking room like a goddamn cannon. I shit you not. The most amazing and terrifying thing I have seen in my life. I see my niece sitting there 1 second. The next, whoosh, I hear papers go flying, and I see the kid go flying halfway across the room. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened? I go running into the room. She's screaming her head off, crying and whatnot. And I'm like, are you okay? What's wrong? What happened? And I'm like, what's wrong? What's wrong? What happened? What happened? What happened? And she's just pointing at her tongue. And I'm all, what's wrong with your tongue? What's wrong? And I see that there's a little mark on her tongue from the paperclip. I see the paperclip partway hanging out from the outlet. And I see part of her tongue attached to the paperclip. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what the kid did. I'm just saying. So I share these two stories with you guys, and I hope you guys did enjoy the stories. But this is a lesson in kids are gonna do some stupid ass shit. I know. I was once a kid. But oddly enough, kids also do some of the most amazing things. And I wish I had time to tell you guys a story, but I don't today. So maybe somewhere down the line, if you guys remind me, I will share the story of an act of kindness that I saw a child do that legitimately brought me to tears. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me. Until next time, adios. I highly doubt Treyarch watches my videos, and if they do, I'll be shocked. But I do hope that feature is there. It was something I thoroughly enjoyed. But ultimately, it was the whole choice thing that was introduced in Black Ops 2 that didn't really get exploited or explored more by Sledgehammer or Infinity Ward with Call of Duty Ghosts and Advanced Warfare. So I'm really, really hoping that Treyarch goes back that route. That was something I did enjoy and was looking forward to with the last two games that we got. So I'm hoping that that's something they bring back as well. And I'm just hoping that the game is good.